Dr. Pereira feels that this year's battle to win the war should be matched in the coming year with a similar dedication to win peace amongst all communities. Next, we move on to the questions surrounding Sri Lanka's youth. What makes them tick? How do they define their lives? What do they feel about issues concerning themselves, such as education and job satisfaction? Do they feel discriminated against in any way? These are just a fraction of the questions that those behind the second National Youth Survey are trying to answer. It's the second of its kind, more detailed and more comprehensive than the last, thereby aiming to provide results that are more informed and useful. The National Youth Survey was first conducted in the year 2000 and again almost a decade later this year. In preparation for the conference, in which documents on various aspects of the survey's data would be analyzed and presented, a group of primary players behind the survey came together to discuss early findings amongst one another.
But naturally, this survey was targeting socio-economic and cultural issues. So, for example, the areas like in the present knowledge economy, the development is concerned, key factor is that the knowledge. To what extent our youth can participate more functional form or more productive form with the knowledge. It may be language literacy, or it may be the computer literacy, or it may be any other type of literacy which required to perform their duties.
The survey was carried out at an extremely pivotal time of the year, during the months of May through till August, when the war had only just ended. A sample of over 3,000 young people in the age bracket of 15 to 29 were chosen to take part in the survey. Although they were from different parts of Sri Lanka, the country's situation at the time prevented access into some northern districts. In order to also include a more qualitative aspect, 16 focus group discussions with a total of 238 participants were conducted targeting different youth communities in different areas of the country. The focus group discussions were conducted by Mohammed Hisham of the Sri Lanka Youth Parliament, who presented a brief description of his work and then answered questions about it as well.
What is young people's perception of the performance of the labour market as it is now these days in Sri Lanka? And very importantly, what is the perception of young people in terms of the performance of what we call labour market institutions or labour market service providers?
We noticed three very distinct areas. One was there is a tendency, however much it is, people think that government sector employment is good. The second important point was they always thought private sector was discriminatory. They thought it's always you have things like whether your background is, your social background is important. And the third one is, it's about job satisfactions. We always found that people, most of the people I think in the employment sector interviews we did, people always, they have a feeling like I'm underpaid, or they don't really, it's like how happy are you with your job question might not give you a very positive answer.
A central figure in this project, which is a joint venture between the Sri Lanka Youth Parliament and the Social Policy and Research Centre of the University of Colombo, is Professor Hettige, who presented an early analysis of his extensive findings on youth and education.
If you take the Sinhala people, they are naturally Sinhala speakers, but among them only 1.2% speak Tamil. So in other words, they are mostly monolingual. And you have 6.6% saying that they can speak English, and I don't know how well they could speak English. Then if you take the Tamils, among the Tamils you have 21.9%, nearly 22% using also Sinhala. And then English language ability, again, there is no difference between the Sinhalese youth and Tamil youth. The Muslims, there's a typo there, but you can see about 1/3 of the Muslims speak Sinhala, and 88.9% they speak Tamil, and that is because most of the Muslims in Sri Lanka speak Tamil. And there the English language proficiency is much higher, 15.8%. So now these are important findings, and actually this pattern remain unchanged over the last 10 years. In fact, in spite of all the talk about the need to teach English, acquire the language skills, to be able to communicate with the other, our situation has really not changed very much.
He spoke about the importance of knowing a country's youth, how they have changed and grown over the years, and about other organizations that would benefit from the data collected in the survey so that they would be better able to provide a space for Sri Lanka's young people to get involved and eventually take over in the future.
National policy on youth cannot be formulated unless you understand the problems of youth in Sri Lanka. So that is one major outcome that we expect, that is to provide a scientific basis for formulating national policy. And then of course there are many agencies who want to help young people, to help young people to achieve their objectives, improve their quality, improve their standards and so on. So there are many agencies that can make use of these data.